Hey everybody, it's your old pal Kevin here at the Noisy Beast Network, coming at you with another video today talking about album rankings from the year 1983 in order of my personal preference, as posted on the website besteveralbums.com. And so if we head over to the site, see, I published this ranking back in 2016. So we're going to go to number 40 on the list. We have The Cramps, Smell of Female. And at number 39, we've got Suicidal Tendencies debut album. This is self-titled on Frontier Records. Absolute classic, early crossover of hardcore punk meets thrash with a little bit of metal influence. Total classic in the skate rock genre of hardcore, and everybody should know this album. I mean, it's got Institutionalized, All I Wanted Was a Pepsi, I Saw Your Mommy. Yeah, great album. And okay, so next we have at number 38, the third album by the Swiss band Yellow, You Gotta Say Yes to Another Excess. This album contains the single I Love You, which is like one of my favorite tracks by Yellow. And this was the last album with Carlos Perón before he left the group, and then Yellow would just become the duo of Dieter Meier and Boris Blank. But yeah, this album really pushed the boundaries of electronic dance music in terms of sampling and production. So, as usual with Yellow, it's very surreal and kind of like out of left field, but a lot of good material, kind of a psychedelic electronic dance album. Really good stuff. And god damn it, I used to have a copy of this album, The Crackdown by Cabaret Voltaire. I would say this is a good starting point for anybody who's interested in Cabaret Voltaire, getting an introduction to the band. But yeah, The Crackdown is definitely among my top 3 favorite Cabaret Voltaire records. So check that one out. If you like industrial, kind of hard dance, psychedelic, electronic. The cool thing about The Crackdown is that Chris Watson had already left the band. So it was just the duo of Stephen Melander and Richard Kirk. But you can definitely see that they're veering more towards the side of like electronic dance music on this album. And at number 36, True by Spandau Ballet. This album is just a classic through and through, from start to finish. I mean, the vocals of Tony Hadley are just like right up there with Brian Ferry. I mean, his vocal delivery is buttery smooth, just like golden throated vocals. I love it so much. Yeah, they had, top 40 hits off of this album, but the whole thing is completely excellent. And moving along to number 35, we've got the War album by U2. This was their third album, and it features Sunday Bloody Sunday and New Year's Day, Two Hearts Beat as One. Okay, and next, at number 34, we've got Burning from the Inside by Bauhaus. Peter Murphy, at the time of the recording, was sick with pneumonia, and so Daniel Ash and David J kind of stepped up to do vocals in place of Peter Murphy. So you can really hear a lot of Tones on Tails coming through on this album. It's got a lot of great tracks on here. She's in Parties, King Volcano, Who Killed Mr. Moonlight, Slice of Life, and the title track, classic Bauhaus, as you'd expect. And it's also their final studio album before their reunion, which came about decades later. And at number 33, I love this album. I don't own a copy of it. It's Hi, How Are You? Hi, How Are You? The unfinished album by Daniel Johnston. Rest in peace. Daniel Johnston, the outsider artist who self-produced his own albums for a number of years before he actually got signed to a record label. This was originally a cassette-only release. It's chock full of so many songs that are just very sweet and touching and sentimental. As much as they are raw, I mean, his keyboard playing is like very ham-fisted, but his sense of melody like really shines through on this album. All right, at number 32, Detestation by Gizm. This is a Japanese hardcore band. Everybody, anyone who's familiar with the Peace War benefit compilation should know Endless Blockades for the Pussyfooter by Gizm. Really wild, raw Japanese hardcore. Original pressings of this album are like $300 or more, so I know it's been reissued by Relapse. I would like to find a copy on CD or vinyl at some point in the future. At number 31 is Porcupine by Echo and the Bunnymen. Has the classic song The Cutter, one of my favorite Echo and the Bunnymen tunes. Okay, at number 30 we have Stuka's Over Disneyland by the Dickies. Considering that Disney is one of the most litigious corporations in America, I'm so surprised that the Dickies were actually able to get away with this. But yeah, I mean, this is their third album. It's on PVC. I guess they were dropped from A&M. Comes with a inner sleeve. Check out this band photo. Look at these guys. Oh my god. So many classic tunes on this record. Rosemary, She's a Hunchback. Their Led Zeppelin cover of Communication Breakdown. Pretty Please Me, Wagon Train, Chuck Wagon, rest in peace. If Stewart Could Talk, I mean, that's like the quintessential Dickies song ever, probably, next to Gigantor. And the title track, yeah. Classic shit. Gotta love the Dickies. All right, and then moving right along to number 29. I used to have this on vinyl. It's The First 4 Years by Black Flag. All the classic shit pre-Henry Rollins with Keith Morris and Ron Reyes and Des Cadena on vocals. Absolute classic compilation of early Black Flag material. Next at number 28, we've got Residue of the Residents by the Residents. Yeah, this is a compilation of early outtakes, and there's some liner notes on the back cover that explain Ralph Records has undertaken to dig into what the Residents call the mop tapes. The reference is to mopping up after an LP is completed, collecting unused material onto one tape. So this is a collection of outtakes, songs that didn't make the cut for their previous albums, but it's a stellar compilation. If you love the Residents, you're probably really going to enjoy this one, Residue of the Residents. And at number 27, I used to have a copy of this album in high school. I don't own one anymore. It's The Hurting by Tears for Fears, their debut album. Yeah, it's got such tracks as Mad World and Pale Shelter. Fantastic album by Tears for Fears. And at number 26, 100 Flowers, their self-titled album on CD. This is on Rhino Records. I used to have a copy of this on vinyl. I believe this was a couple members of the Urinals, Southern California hardcore punk. This album's probably a little bit more on the post-punk side of things. It has classic tracks such as All Sexed Up, Head No Heart, Motorboat to Hell, Dizzy Miss Lizzy. California's Falling into the Ocean. Check it out, 100 Flowers. All right, at number 25 by the Minutemen is Buzz or Howl Under the Influence of Heat. This is a 12-inch EP that features such classic tunes as Cut, which the noise rock band Vertigo covered, Dreams Are Free, Motherfucker, I Felt Like a Gringo, Little Man with a Gun in His Hand, absolute classic Minutemen 12-inch EP on SST Records. All right. At number 24, also on SST, we have The Dicks, their album Kill from the Heart. Wearing their heart on their sleeve. The Dicks, self-avowed communist band out of Austin, Texas. This album is chock full of excellent songs such as Anti-Klan, Rich Daddy, No Nazis Friend, Kill from the Heart, Bourgeois Fascist Pig. Their cover of Purple Haze is pretty decent. Dicks Can't Swim. You're all probably familiar with the Dicks. Absolute classic hardcore out of Austin, Texas. Okay, and then at number 23, this album, it's actually more of a 12-inch EP or a mini album. This is near and dear to my heart. This is Afoot by Let's Active. This record, along with REM and B-52s, my freshman year in high school, this was one of the records that introduced me to new wave, alternative music, college rock, you name it. Every Word Means No, Edge of the World, Room with a View, Leader of Men. And also noteworthy is that Sarah Romweber is the sister of Dexter Romweber, who was the singer and the vocalist and guitarist for Flat Duo Jets. Okay, and then at number 22 is Over the Edge by Wipers. Wipers are one of my all-time favorite punk bands. Greg Sage, singer and guitarist. Kurt Cobain was a big fan of these guys. Yeah, Portland, Oregon. So many classic songs on this album. Over the Edge, Doomtown, So Young, Romeo, No One Wants an Alien. Yeah. Absolute classic by the Wipers. Brain Eater Records. Okay, speaking of Over the Edge by Wipers, if we refer to the Flex US hardcore discography, the album is described as this picks up exactly where the previous album left off. Well, it might be a tad warmer and friendlier than the depressive Youth of America. Apart from that, it's the same cool, melancholic art punk with unique riffs and Greg Sage's great voice. Another classic Wipers release. Okay, and at number 21, we have Lullabies Help the Brain Grow. Well, I don't know. I mean, Lullabies Help the Brain Grow. These aren't slow songs. These aren't like gentle like melodies to put somebody to sleep, right? It's ironic, yes, exactly. It's the irony, which is just like charming and endearing. But this is skate punk from Austin, Texas. Very vibrant scene in Austin in the early 80s for punk and hardcore. Yeah, Lullabies Help the Brain Grow is most likely my favorite Big Boys release. I mean, you can go through the track list. Every song on here is really cool. Baby Let's Play God, We Got Your Money, Funk Off, Jump the Fence, We're Not In It to Lose. Classic hardcore release by the Big Boys from 1983. At number 21 on my list of best ever albums. Okay, at number 20 is Off the Bone by The Cramps. It's a compilation that came out in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, and basically it is the same track list as Bad Music for Bad People, although it does include a few extra tracks, and it came with a pair of 3D glasses because the cover artwork was in 3D. So that's pretty cool. All right, at number 19 is Permanent Scar, a split LP with Cheetah Chrome Motherfuckers and I Refuse It, two Italian hardcore bands. This was originally released as a cassette in 1983, and then on the Children of the Revolution record label, this was pressed on vinyl in 1986. As it says on the back cover, bands involved in the international hardcore scene, there's no wall, no racist differences between people. We work together, down with nationalism. God damn it, if that doesn't just apply to the current state of affairs in 2025 as it did back in the early 80s, I don't know. I mean, I totally agree with the sentiment expressed there. And now at number 18 is What Makes a Man Start Fires by the Minutemen. This album features such classic Minutemen tunes as Bob Dylan wrote propaganda songs, Beacon Sighted Through Fog, The Anchor. All right, at number 17, From the One That Cut You by Fred Lane and Ron Pate's Debonaires. Yeah, the Reverend Fred Lane, From the One That Cut You. This was reissued on Shimmy Disc Records in the late 80s, originally released in 1983. It looks like a jazz record, and it is jazzy at times. The lyrical content often goes from descriptions of very mundane activities in life to just sudden psychotic freakouts. I think fans of Frank Zappa would find something to like in this. If you're a Captain Beefheart fan, you could probably enjoy much of this album. It's jazzy, it's chaotic, there's a lot of humor, and it's really wacky, it's off the wall, it's zany, it's nutty. Yeah, Fred Lane, From the One That Cut You. Okay, at number 16 is Auto da Fe by SPK. This is a compilation of their earlier material. It's very psychedelic, it's very abrasive, proto-industrial noise. Yeah, really excellent compilation of early material by SPK out of Australia. And at number 15, I would say this is probably my favorite release by the B-52s. This is the Whammy album from 1983. This features Legal Tender, Whammy Kiss, Song for a Future Generation, Butterbean, Trism, Queen of Las Vegas, Don't Worry, Big Bird, Work That Skirt. Every song is just absolutely incredible. I love this shit. And then at number 14 is Death Church by Rudimentary Peni. I used to have this on vinyl. Sadly, I lost this somewhere along the way. But yeah, absolute deranged, unhinged vocals by Nick Blinko. Excellent cover artwork by Nick. Classic hardcore punk. Absolutely essential shit. Okay, at number 13 is Bloodied But Unbowed by DOA. This is a compilation of their first two albums, Hardcore 81 and Something Better Change. Songs from 1978 to 83. All right, so moving along to number 12 is Kill 'Em All by Metallica, the debut by Metallica. Everybody knows this album. It's pretty kick-ass, I guess. It's my token entry for a metal album on this chart from 1983. Okay, and then at number 11 is Out of Step by Minor Threat. Look at this here in the corner. $3.50 postpaid from Discord. So I used to love mail ordering albums from Discord Records back in high school. You could send off $20 and get like 3 full-length albums and a 7-inch EP from Discord Records. And they would usually arrive with a handwritten note. This is a mini LP or 12-inch EP. Every song on here is just fantastic. Betray, It Follows, Think Again, Look Back and Laugh, Sob Story, No Reason, Little Friend, and Out of Step. I mean, absolutely essential hardcore out of Washington, D.C. with Ian MacKaye on vocals. Owner-operator of Discord Records, along with Jeff Nelson on drums, who did all the graphics for these album covers. All right. Now you may be thinking, dude, if Minor Threat's Out of Step 12-inch is coming in at number 11, what could the top 10 albums possibly be? I mean, how are we going to top this, right? Okay, so at number 10, we have Earth vs. Shockabilly by Shockabilly. I didn't know about these guys until Shimmy Disc Records started reissuing their stuff in the late 80s. But I picked up this original UK pressing on Rough Trade. This is Eugene Chadbourne on guitar and vocals, Mark Kramer on bass and tape loops, and David Licht on drums. This is some of the most psychedelic music that, in my estimation, that you're ever going to find. I mean, a lot of fans of psych rock talk about the Beatles and Pink Floyd, but oh my God, Shockabilly are up there in the league of Butthole Surfers as far as like noisy, psychedelic, weird shit. So, yeah, check that out. If you like the Butthole Surfers, if you like Ween, if you're a fan of Bongwater or King Missile, check out Shockabilly. Really great early 80s psychedelic insanity. Power, Corruption, and Lies by New Order. In my opinion, this is the best New Order album. Age of Consent opens the album, and all the way through, it's just a really classic New Order album. I always used to think Blue Monday was on this album, but that was released as a single on its own. Okay, at number 8 is the debut LP by Swans. This is the Filth LP. Brutal, noisy, heavy, abrasive, proto-industrial noise rock out of New York City. My favorite part about this album is the drumming style of Rolly Mossaman. But yeah, the vocals of Michael Gira are just like so gut-wrenching and brutal. I mean, the music sounds like the album cover, and it is just totally awesome. In your face, brutal noise rock out of New York City. Okay, at number 7 is Metal Circus by Husker Du. Yeah, this record, it's a 12-inch EP or mini LP. Every song on here is just fantastic. Real World, Deadly Skies, It's Not Funny Anymore, First of the Last Calls, Lifeline, Diane, Out on a Limb. absolute essential Husker Du release from 1983, coming in at number 7 on my chart of best ever albums from 1983. And at number 6, also from Minneapolis, Minnesota, is Hootenanny by The Replacements. This is their second album. I've got to admit, the opening track, Hootenanny, is not that great, but everything else on this record is just so amazing. Run It, Color Me Impressed, Willpower, Take Me Down to the Hospital, Within Your Reach, Love Lines, Treatment Bound. This is really stellar Replacements material before they became darlings of the alternative indie rock, college rock, American indie rock scene of the late 80s. Really incredible album by The Replacements. At number 6. All right, at number 5, the debut by Butthole Surfers, self-titled, or also known as Brown Reason to Live. I have another pressing of this that actually states that alternate title here, Brown Reason to Live. This one came out in the late 80s and is on sort of a brownish diarrhea splattered marble vinyl pressing. And it's got this funky label with PP the Sailor. And it says to be played at 69 RPMs. Also featuring one of the creepiest back album cover artworks that I've ever seen. Look at this. I don't know what's happening here. Isn't that disturbing? You're talking about grooming. Jesus. But holy shit, yeah. Every song on this. The Shah Sleeps in Lee Harvey's Grave. Hey, Something, Barbecue Pope, Wichita Cathedral, Suicide, and the Revenge of Anus Presley. Oh my god. Butthole Surfers debut. Classic shit. Not classic, but awesome shit. Alright, at number 4, Bad Brains, Rock for Light. This is the Rick Ocasek produced album. Their first full-length album. Well, first they had the Roar cassette, the Reach Out International Records cassette. They're self-titled. A lot of the songs on this album are re-recorded versions from that debut they put out on cassette only. But yeah, it's got Coptic Times, Attitude, Sailin' On, Right Brigade, FVK, Fearless Vampire Killers, Riot Squad, The Meek Shall Inherit the Earth. I mean, I could just go through the whole list. Band in DC, How Low Can a Punk Get, Big Takeover, I Survive. Yeah, and the title track, Rock for Light. A really nice blend of blisteringly fast hardcore punk that is interspersed with slower reggae tracks. The Bad Brains were just absolutely brilliant. And so you're wondering what could possibly top that, right? So I think this entry onto my list is a bit questionable. I was listening to this just the other day. I was happy to find that this album is available on Spotify and actually includes an entire second set of songs that are not on this original vinyl edition. But yeah, the vocals of Penelope Houston, songs like Corpus Christi, Second to None, The American in Me, We Are the One. Out of San Francisco, the Avengers were really, really cool late 70s punk rock. The way you think of punk from the 70s should sound, with rough and snarling vocals by Penelope Houston. That she has a vocal style that is just able to convey punk rock badassery. Check it out, The Avengers at number 3. In all honesty, I think the Bad Brains record is probably should be swapped out for the number 3 position. At number 2, the self-titled Violent Femmes debut album. This album I've heard dozens of times, so there's probably a little bit of nostalgia factor entering into this as to why it's ranked so highly. But come on. Blister in the Sun, Kiss Off, Add It Up, Gone Daddy Gone. There's so many great tracks on this album. I mean, really, it's one of those classic albums that from start to finish, every song is just incredible. So yeah, it's worthy of the number 2 position on my favorite albums of 1983, ranked in order of my personal preference over on bestoveralbums.com. And to finish off the list at number 1 is the debut by REM, their Murmur album, released on IRS Records. This is actually a European pressing. It's on IRS, but it's says manufactured, made in Holland. Yeah, I used to. This was back in 1986 when I first started getting into new wave. This is one of the first records that I bought with my own allowance money. Depeche Mode's People Are People compilation was the very first record I bought back in 86, and this album by REM came soon thereafter. Thanks to my friend Dan, who loaned this to me on a cassette, along with several other albums, Violent Femmes, for instance. Yeah, so my friend in high school who let me borrow cassette tapes of new wave bands that he was a fan of, and introduced me to all this shit that has me talking about music and my passion for music all these years later. What is it now, 40 years later? That's crazy. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this. 1983 was such a fantastic year for music, and especially if you like punk and metal and underground weird shit. 1983, as you can see, was just chock full of really amazing records by bands that I still love today. And if you feel like I've missed anything from this list that you would have included, drop a line in the comments. Feel free to give a thumbs up if you like this video. Head on over to bestoveralbums.com if you feel interested in building your own charts. It's always fun to interact with other folks there at bestoveralbums.com. And I will see you on the next video talking about music from 1984. Peace out, everybody.